Right. So welcome back to communication skills course. And
Recording in progress.
today we are going to discuss about noise. To recall your memory, what we doing so far, we were discussing the basic elements of the communication process. This is the process we are referring, contemporary model of communication. And we are discussing about each and every factor or the element of these communication process, right? You can see in different colors. There are different elements starting from communicators, then the encoding, decoding, message, channel itself, and the identity of these communicators, and shared meaning. These things we discussed. Today we are going to discuss last three parts. Especially today we will dedicate this remaining 45 minutes to discuss about the noise as well as the feedback of this process. Okay. Then what we are going to do today is a discussion session. Right. So two things to discuss. One is noise. Noise is anything interfere with the creation of shared meaning between or among communicators. That's what is meant or what is understood in communication. That's mean anything interfere with the creation of shared meaning. So you should have understanding now what is shared meaning is. So whatever communicators engage in communication process, what we do is we develop a shared meaning, right? If we take you and me right now, conversing using this Zoom platform. So if I am A and you are B, then I am trying to interpret my message today. So we are meeting online. I'm using English language here. I'm trying to interpret my message here. I am doing a lesson. And also you are listening to it, you are hearing it, and you are trying to interpret in your own way. Then at the end of the day, what will happen is we should develop a shared meaning. Then only the message I intended when it received to you, if you interpret, if you understand it the same way, then only this lesson becomes successful. අපි ඔබ මම මේ මොහොතේ Zoom කියන පරිගණක මුදුකාංගයක් එහෙම නැත්නම් ජාලගත මාධ්‍ය ඔස්සේ අපි මේ විදිහට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා Zoom කියන platform එක හරහා ඒ පසුතලය හරහා අපි මෙහෙම සංවාද කරනවා, අපි දේශනයක් පවත්වනවා. එතකොට මම අදහස් කරන දේවල් මම ඔබට පණිවිඩයක් විදිහට මේ විදිහට කියමින් ඉන්නවා. ඔබ මේ දේවල් තේරුම් ගන්නට උත්සාහ ගනිමින් ඉන්නවා. අවසානයේ අපි දෙපාර්ශවයටම අපිට පුළුවන් නම් shared meaning එකක් එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි දෙන්නටම වැටහෙන අදහසක් ගොඩනගා ගන්න. එතකොට තමයි සංවේදනය සාර්ථක වෙන්නේ. If anything interfere this one, යම් කිසි දෙයක් මේකට බාධා කරනවා, anything interfere with the creation of shared meaning. So to create shared meaning, I need to interpret my message as well as you need to interpret your message received in your own way. So if anything interfere, if anything works as a barrier, that is known as the noise. So initially what you need to do is you need to remove the idea, the basic idea you are having about noise. The term noise in English language, that's normally say it's an environmental sound or a disturbance coming to us, right? එතකොට අර noise කියලා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපිට when your mobile is when you are hearing a call, when you answer someone in mobile phone, when a kind of sound coming, right, not relevant sound coming, you call it noise. Noise right? When there is a speaker is working, when there is a different sound coming from the speaker, you call it noise. So that is the noise that is not the noise we are referring here. Even that is a noise, but this is a noise we are going to understand today in a broader sense. Make a අපි ඒ කතා කරන mechanical noise වලට වැඩි එහා ගිය පුළුල් අර්ථයකින් තමයි අපි noise කියන එක සංනිවේදනයේදී අඳුර ගන්න යන්නේ, right? So noise is anything interfere with the creation of shared meaning. If anything work as a barrier, if anything interfere, if anything interrupt, that is known as the noise in communication process, including the mechanical noises we are normally know, right? So if when you take a call, if you have low signal, then if you can't hear the other one's response, then that also noise. If you are listening to television, if there is a heavy rain, if the television is not working properly, that also noise. When there is a heavy rain, when there is a big noise outside, you can't hear even the room discussion, that also noise. If you are in a crowded bus, when you are getting receiving a call, if you can't hear anything, when there is lot of music inside the bus, that also noise. And if you are not good mood today, if you are not ready to listen to me right now, if you are really hungry right now, if you missed your breakfast, that also noise. Because you cannot concentrate of developing a shared meaning. You cannot listen properly. You cannot hear things properly. If you are right now in a petrol queue and if you are in the middle of the road, that also noise for this communication, right? So anything interfere with the creation of shared meaning between or among communicators known as noise. And also noise can occur at any stage of the communication process. It can happen in any stage. So if we go back to the communication process, so it can affect to communicators, it can affect to your self identity, your experience, your personality. It can interfere to the encoding decoding process. It can interrupt the message creation. It can interrupt the channel we are using. Likewise, other two factors we later on discuss, the culture factor and the context, right? So you can see in black color line at the communication model we are using here, you can see there is a black line going on throughout the communication process, right? That is noise. So it interfere, it make an impact over all the throughout the communication process, right? So that is known as noise. And so at any stage of our communication process, noise can interfere. එතකොට අපේ සංනිවේදනයේ අපි අර්ථ ගොඩනැගීමට තමයි අපේ අරමුණ shared meaning, right? බෙදා හදාගත් අර්ථය. If anything interfere, ඒකට ඕනම බාධාවක් සිද්ධ වෙනවා නම් ඒක noise එකක් විදිහට අපි සලකනවා. Next point is feedback. These one of the wonderful element of communication process. Feedback is a response or creation to a message. So when I say something to you, if I ask a question like this, can you understand what I am saying? Can you understand what I am saying? If you give me a reply, then that is feedback, right? So always in a communication process, there should be a feedback. There should be a response. There should be a reaction. Then only our communication process become interactive or transactional. Otherwise, it will remain as a one-way communication. We discussed this earlier also. Now, when you're looking at television, when those newsreaders tell a lot of things about the present crisis, and I'm pretty sure when you are staying at home and you are looking at you are listening to and you are viewing the television news, then you all, including family members, tell a lot of things to the television newsreader. But that thing cannot be heard by the newsreader. එතකොට අපි news කියන කෙනාට කොච්චර බැන්නත් ඒ newsreader ට ඇහෙන්නේ. So since the newsreader not getting any response, it's one-way communication. But you can take a call to the Sri Lanka Rupani Corporation and you can call them and say something, but not to the newsreader, since it is a live telecast. Similarly, if there is no feedback mechanism, then it will stay as a one-way communication method. So there are some circumstances, so some occasions, some incidents we use one-way communication, but Most of the other time, we use it as an interactive method of communication, transactional method of communication, where we give chance other party to talk. අපි හැමතිස්සෙම බොහෝ වෙලාවට අපි සංවේදනයේදී අනිත් පාර්ශවයටත් කතා කිරීමේ ඉඩකඩ ලබා දෙනවා. That's feedback. Feedback is known as ප්‍රතිපෝෂණය, feeding back to the communication process. It tells us, that's why feedback is important. It tells us if our messages are being interpreted as intended. It tells us our messages are being interpreted as intended. අපි හිතපු විදිහටම අපේ පණිවිඩයේ තේරුම් අරගෙන තියෙනවා කියලා අපිට වැටහෙන්නේ ප්‍රතිචාරයක් ලැබුණොත් විතරයි. Right? So when the other party talks, when the other party react, when they provide us a response, only we can understand the message has received by the to the destination, and also has understood and interpreted as we intended, right? So then only communication becomes successful. Otherwise, communication will remain in sometimes one way, and also communication will not become successful and effective.